I am satisfied that there is a reasonable basis to proceed with an investigation into the situation in Palestine, pursuant to Article 53(1) of the statute. In brief, I am satisfied, 1, that war crimes have been or are being committed in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem and the Gaza Strip. 2, that potential cases arising from the situation would be admissible. And 3, that there are no substantial reasons to believe that an investigation would not serve the interest of justice.
Welcome to the Real News Network. I'm Shir Hever, coming to you from Heidelberg, Germany. The special prosecutor of the International Criminal Court in The Hague dropped a bomb, a figurative bomb. She has prepared the file to charge Israeli officials with war crimes committed in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. The charges will be pressed, however, only once the question of jurisdiction will be clarified. 5 years ago, in late December, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas signed the Rome Convention of the ICC based on the UN General Assembly recognition of the State of Palestine from 2012. This means that crimes committed by Israeli forces in the occupied territory fall under the jurisdiction of the ICC unless the perpetrators are held accountable by Israeli courts. It's a moment that Palestinians have been waiting for, accountability under international law. The panicked response from the Israeli side shows that merely announcing the charges was enough to cause a storm. 4 noteworthy Israeli responses to Bensouda are: 1, the Israeli General Attorney said that the ICC has no jurisdiction because Palestine is not a state, it's Israeli occupied territory. Oops, the ICC just got Israel to admit that there is an occupation. 2, journalists quickly said that the case is too complex and the ICC should just give up and save itself the hard work. 3, Prime Minister Netanyahu called the ICC anti-Semitic and proceeded to say that the Israeli judicial system is excellent and there is no need for the ICC to intervene. The Israeli judicial system, which he himself denounced as corrupt and biased when charges were pressed against him just a month ago. And 4, major newspapers in Israel put on their front page the fact that the chief prosecutor of the ICC, Fatou Bensouda, is from Gambia, and that should disqualify her arguments against Israel. We're now joined by Shawan Jabarin to discuss this. He's the general director of Al-Haq and the vice president of the International Federation of Human Rights. In 2011, he was appointed to the Human Rights Watch Middle East Advisory Board, and in 2013, he was elected as commissioner for the International Commission of Jurists. He received the Reebok Human Rights Award in 1990 for his defense of freedom of expression and human rights, and he spent some time in Israeli prison. Thank you very much for joining us, Shawan.
Thank you.
A lot of activists thought that as soon as President Abbas signed the Rome Convention in 2014, the case against Israeli war crimes was already prepared, especially against the invasion of Gaza, in which over 2,000 Palestinians were killed, most of them defenseless civilians. Why did the ICC need 5 years to make this announcement?
In my point of view, I think this is Israel, supported unconditionally by the US. The Israel distributing a fear, mainly in Europe and elsewhere. They threatened, the ICC. If it's not Israel, I'm sure that they will proceed quickly. But it's not that big problem. I can say now everything concluded, and the prosecutor herself, she said that she concluded the preliminary examination, which is good. In Colombia, it took around 11 years, but for our case, it took 5 years. But unfortunately, to send the question now to the pretrial chamber, even if she has full jurisdiction to move forward to investigation, but she preferred maybe to be backed by a judiciary instead of just by political decision by Palestine. We keep it hope. I think everything is clear. Her office, they told us many times that this is the most documented cases ever. And we provided them a lot of information. They said, it's enough, please, don't send us anymore. which it means that they have the full information to decide about the crimes happened in Palestine. The questions before them, they have to ask themselves about the jurisdiction and about the admissibility. Admissibility is one of the main questions, and also the jurisdiction. But she preferred, she decided to send this question again to the pre-trial chamber, even if in her report she said that she is fully know that she has a jurisdiction over the territory in West Bank, including Jerusalem and Gaza. Maybe you can ask why. I have no answer, to be honest with you, but let me take it in good faith and in good intention from her side and her office side.
I want to talk about the documentation that you just mentioned. I think it's very telling that the ICC told you, please don't send us any more. So the ICC itself does not have the capacity to investigate the Israeli war crimes without help. It relies on the work of hundreds of civil society organizations, both Palestinian, such as your organization, Al-Haq, and also Israeli organizations. But do you expect the Israeli authorities to persecute and to take vengeance against these organizations as they are against you personally?
Look, they carried out a smear campaign against us, against me personally, but against the organization, and not just only Al-Haq. All the organizations cooperated with the ICC. They are under attack, under smear campaign on the international level. They are using, different techniques to undermine the work of the organizations. Sometimes they label us as anti-Semitic organizations, or we are carrying out lawfare. The question here, I don't know what they mean by lawfare. They don't want us to use law. What they want us to use, if they don't want us to use peaceful meaning and legal meanings, what they want us to use. All of their campaigns will not step us back and will not push us to give up. We will continue focus on our work, on our mission, to maintain rule of law and to push for justice for the victims and to push for accountability against the criminals. We will not give up, for sure, I can assure you. Even if they kill us, and I don't, take off this from the table, to be honest with you, because they threatened us with threats. Also, they hacked our computers, our emails. They issued and they released, leaflets under our name. It's fake leaflets. They did everything, and they are doing everything. They established a special ministry, and Israel is the only state over the world. They have a special ministry, under the name of strategic affairs, going after the civil society organizations, the media's movement, the peaceful means criticizing Israel, because we criticize Israel, because we criticize their crimes, and we are documenting, their crimes. But I'm sure that if we say that Israel is a great country, Palestinians, they are bad, but the Israeli government, they are a good government, I'm sure that they will nominate us for Nobel Prize. We know that well. If they do something else, it means that we are not doing our work. But if we make them nervous and, coming out with what they do these days, this is an indicator that we are going in the right track and we are doing our work in the right way.
It's good to hear that you will not be deterred. I have one last question for you. The ICC has jurisdiction only in cases in which the local judicial system fails to hold perpetrators of war crimes accountable and to bring them to justice. And many Israeli lawyers, including military lawyers, said that by investigating Israeli soldiers and officers and punishing them for war crimes, Israel would actually be protecting itself from international courts. And yet, the Israeli military refuses categorically to hold its own soldiers and officers accountable. The Israeli government is saying that it has done everything in its power to delay the ICC case and to prevent it, except for this one thing, applying the legal scrutiny over its own forces. So my question to you is, why are they doing that? Why are they choosing not to apply the law on their own forces?
Look, to be honest with you, the culture of impunity is one of the main difficulties in this case and in this conflict and in this area. There is an official I can see, and there is a political intention behind not to implement a law when it comes to Palestinians. And I think the Israelis, they are taking the extreme line. When you take the extreme line, you will become blind. They feel that they are, no one will go after them. They are supported by the US, and they are a strong country. Everyone is fighting from them. That, I think, they make them blind. They don't take care, with any level of rule of law in this area. And this is part of the culture. This is part of the official policy, in Palestine. If you follow, what Netanyahu said about the killings of Palestinians and the bringing, Israeli commanders and Israeli soldiers before courts and real investigation, he said that we will not let any of our soldiers or any commanders or any officers, to be prosecuted because of what's happened in Gaza or elsewhere. That's the case. This is an official policy. The issue of impunity in this case. And I think every day they are taking the extreme line day after day. And it's time, I think, to put an end, of this culture and to take the path and the line of rule of law and justice for victims. This also shows that what's going on, it's not an isolated incident here or there. This is part of an official policy. This is the killings, the house demolitions, the transfer of civilians. This is not an isolated incident because this commander is crazy or that soldier is crazy and he's doing that because, for personal reasons. No, they are doing that because there is an official policy behind. And the culture of impunity is as part of the official policy. That's the case. And this is what gives an answer for your question. It's not because they feel that they are over the law and the law will not be implemented because they have been in this situation in the last 71 years of Nakba and 52 years of occupation. No actions took against them. No accountability, implemented. No rule of law implemented. No UN resolutions implemented. No one countries, take any actions against them because the absence of actions making them feeling that they are, they can't do anything and no one can stop them from doing that. But I think this is the time. This is the time to reevaluate from the third state parties, the UN, and from the international community to reevaluate their policies, and this is time for actions. ICC is one thing, but I think also the third state parties, they have to proceed. Canada, for instance, they have now to rethink about their position regarding rule of law and international law principles, and their position when it comes to the ICC, for instance, function. They have now to reevaluate the principles of international law because it's under threat because of Trump and the populists everywhere over the world. Israel is one of them.
These are strong words indeed, and I do hope that we're going to see an end to this lack of accountability after so many years, and that the ICC will move forward to make the Israeli government and forces accountable for the war crimes that are being committed. Thank you very much, Shawan Jabarin, for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us at the Real News Network.
Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate it. But do us one more solemn favor. Hit the subscribe button below. You know you want to. Stay up on the videos.